Today is that day again.
All right. And we are live on Facebook. So hello everyone out there in Facebook world and on Instagram. Welcome to the last WTF of 2020.
That's right. That's right. The last
That's
one before Christmas, before
just
New Year's. Mm-hmm.
so we will not be back until that first Friday in January, but with this year, I think it's a very much needed and deserved break.
Yes.
I think just as a whole, everyone as a whole just really needs this break. So today, for those of you in Facebook watching, we are doing a designer highlight. Second Friday. First Friday, January 1st.
All right. So we are going to go right on ahead. And Kim, this is one of your designers.
Okay, this is Maria Clark. She is out of California. We met Maria.
California. Cool.
Yes,
You're in New Jersey. You're New Jersey based,
I
right? I'm just making sure I got my
know.
geography
No,
straight.
no, Maria's team, they have a couple projects here on the East Coast, and we have had the pleasure of working with them over the last few years. And right now, we are currently working on a project out in the Hamptons with them.
Nice.
And yeah, the project out there is really great. The house is it's really cool what they've done with the home so far. It's one of those, I don't often walk into a house and I'm like, I was just like, wow, I loved everything about it. I'm like, I really would love to
That
live
that
here.
that is a
Yeah,
rarity.
yeah.
This is not it though, because
No,
that
this is
yours
not
is
it.
not ready
No,
yet.
no, ours isn't ready yet, but this is a project of hers that, again, it just shows the really great aesthetic of like that the team has. What I liked about this, it's hard to tell in the picture on Instagram, but this, we did not do this project for them. This is something that they have out in California, a project of theirs. But what I loved was like this simple, sleek elbow return right
Mhm.
there of a French return rod, and just how clean line just a simple black rod can really be. And that's when I'm looking at photographs of different window treatments to kind of get inspiration. I'm a little bit of a hardware like nerd. I love drapery hardware. Those of you who don't know that, that's kind of like what gets me going in the window treatment space. So when I see this, and I'm like, wow, they did that, and the turn is just so like clean over there at the bend where the two rods meet. In Instagram, you can't see there because of Vita's lovely face
Sorry,
is right
this is
there.
where Instagram puts me, so I have no control over it.
But there is another panel that wraps the other side of
On
that
the right.
window. So instead of doing, it looks like these drapes could be functional because of the amount of pleats that there are. So it is like a C-ring situation with probably a bypass type of bracket, but it's just showing you that you can do two simple panels on either end. You don't necessarily need to do one in the middle there, and just how
Nice.
clean the rod is.
Yeah. The one thing that I'd like to point out that I really like is that on a wide rod like that,
Mm.
you need to have several brackets.
Yes.
And we did touch on that whole thing, how we cannot defy gravity. Um, we need to have those intermittent brackets. We touched on
Mhm.
that in our hardware episode, and I'm sure we'll be repeating it going
Yes.
forward as well. But what I like here, because they needed to have those extra brackets, do you see how the brackets are nicely aligned with the mullions
Yes.
on the window? I mean,
Yes.
this is the stuff that I geek out on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a good point to have too. And I mean, these are things that also like interior designers out there, we're not expecting, y'all to sit there and be like, oh, I want this lined up with this. No, that's what we're here for. And those are the kind of like little nudgy details that Vita and I, or your window treatment expert, will really bring to the table and figure that out for you.
Y'all don't have to worry about that.
No, that is from me going to school down south in Virginia, and that's like the one habit that has stuck with me 15 years later.
See, and I can't pull it off. I mean, I have a Ukrainian/Russian accent, so when I say y'all, that just sounds like my brain goes.
I don't know my Jersey accent sometimes, and I'm like, y'all. The people are like, "What is happening right now?"
I know. I know. All right, the next designer that I would like to highlight is Rhonda Sachs Interiors, and Kimberly from ASID. I think you would appreciate this because she is our fellow ASID member here in Philadelphia. And Rhonda has been in business for quite a while now, since I believe 1988. She actually went to her undergrad to George Washington in DC, and then she had her interior design education here in the local Philadelphia school. And she has been through a lot of ups and downs in the economy and in the interior design industry. And she has seen her share of poofy valances from the 80s and the 90s. And I really admire how Rhonda is able to adapt to the current environment and to the current design trends without being too trendy. And I love how her style and taste have really evolved and have matured over the years. And here's an example of one of her work. Full disclosure, we did not do this project and we did not work for her as her window treatment specialist, but she's someone that I have admired from afar. She is a colleague in the Philadelphia area. She's based in Wayne on the main line there.
Mhm.
And I've just really enjoyed her work, and I love the clean lines that she has in her style, and those very classical touches. You see very streamlined and clean lines in the furniture. And you also see very understated window treatments. And ordinarily, I mean, you know how much I love my poofy valances and all that stuff. But I also do appreciate other styles as well. And I really like how here Rhonda took a risk in a way. And usually I speak about risks in terms of more pattern or more color, but I can also appreciate when an interior designer goes in reverse and really takes it down and brings it down and just goes very understated. I think it would have been a very natural and kind of like a given route to do 2 drapery panels per window, and it would have been very pretty. Don't get me wrong, it would have been, but there's something very special and very quiet about just having a nice roller shade, which is what this is, just a white roller shade. So the windows just kind of disappear, and the moldings on those windows are really played up. You see those beautiful moldings at the top. You see the beautiful molding around the fireplace, and very clean line furniture, and of course the big hero in the room of the piano. And the window treatments just kind of needed to disappear and be quiet and go away. So I appreciate all of those touches and thinking, and that strategic thinking that interior designers have to go through. So whether it's fancy or understated, I like them all. I like all the window treatments and all the decisions and strategies that interior designers have to go through. And in particular, in this case, I think Rhonda did a really fantastic job.
Yeah. The roller shades have definitely come a very long way. And if you want more on that, we did a whole episode on roller shades about 2 weeks ago. So check that out. Okay. So this is Julie Leopold of the
Little hard to see. Sorry, Kim.
Yeah. And just full disclosure, my computer screen, which we've streamed Facebook through, the screen is black, so I'm kind of going a little. So if anyone comments in Facebook world, I'm sorry, I can't see it. Vita,
that's okay. I'll see it. Yeah,
Vita will be able to see it.
You're flying blind today.
Yeah. So this is Julie. Julie is local here to us here in New Jersey. So we're going back to the East Coast here, and Julie is a very talented designer. We have done a couple projects with her, and the project that we are highlighting today was one that we did a year ago for the show house for Grace's house. So it was something that was really special to us. Luann was on the board, and I actually have 2 designers that we did work for at Grace's house. I'm going to feature these projects today. So Julie had the sunroom, and here you're only seeing a corner of the room, but she had windows on 3 sides, L-shaped windows. So it was the question of, do we pop a panel between each break of the window? So there was 10 panels total.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we went back and forth, but it was just kind of like the natural thing to do, that was like both of our gut instincts, set to just put a panel in between each window. And then there was a set of French doors that opened out into the patio. And her room was called the butterfly room. So she had really pretty butterflies on the ceiling, and she had a lot of really pretty art and different sculptures and things like that. And the fabric just tied into this whole space. It was a a really wild print, but I think it worked in the room. So this is showing
Mhm.
you how I know in show houses designers tend to go you really go for it in terms of fabrics and things like that. But this is a good example of showing like you can go for it. You can pick a really bold print and have 10 panels of it in a space and really make it work.
It's so vibrant. It just makes you
Yeah.
smile. You know, when I looked at this picture when you sent it over to me, you know, I just realized I'm like growing this big smile on
Yeah.
my face, and like how it just like I immediately got filled with happiness the more I
Yeah.
looked at it.
So yeah, definitely go check out Julie's Instagram so you can see the rest of the space. I would have loved to shown all the pictures and all the different angles, but it was really fun collaborating with her on this project, and I think it came out great.
Beautiful. Nicely done. Okay, the next designer that I'd like to
Mm.
highlight is Diff Miller. And if you think that Diff sounds a little different, it does. Her full name is Meredith, Meredith
Ah,
Miller.
mhm,
She goes by Diff, though, Diff Miller Interior Design. And she is quite a powerhouse here in the Philadelphia area.
mhm,
She's mainline based. She she actually, her background is really interesting because she got her start in the fashion industry in New York.
mhm,
So she spent years outfitting the runway models all over New York City and really honing her skills of color and pattern and fabric and design, proportion. And then she took
mhm,
all of those acquired skills as well as immense natural talent and she brought it into the interior design world. And now she works all over, even Europe, here on the main line,
mm,
New York, and she's an amazingly talented designer whose strength is in putting bold colors and bold patterns together. And here is an example of that.
oh, love it.
Isn't it cool? So you
Mhm,
can see the bold pink wallpaper and then the contrasting blue drapery panel with the complementing pink band on the side. And then she took that and combined it with a very traditional rug. So this is a dining room. And then she took a side piece that would have been very traditional and probably was in like a dark mahogany or a
mhm,
cherry wood, and then she painted it and lacquered it, and then she did the same thing with the dining room table that probably was also just like your regular wood finish, and she painted it a really cool bright vibrant
mhm,
color, and that she did the same thing with the chairs. And you can't quite tell, but the chairs are also upholstered in the pink fabric that are complementing the rug, the band on the window treatments, and the wallpaper. So this is pretty much very indicative of what Div does
mhm,
on all of her projects. They're all unapologetic, taking a real stand in terms of color and in terms of pattern. It's
mhm,
just like really going for it, like going all out. And then, of course, there's details like only Kim, you and I would pick up,
mhm,
like beautiful brass gold hardware and the
mhm,
way the pleats are done ever so, and how the gold hardware is actually matching the hardware on the French doors.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like, all of these things are really important. And just her work is just gorgeous. Anytime she puts anything up on Instagram, it's all those a lot of bold colors, a lot of geometrics, very interesting combinations of patterns and colors. And something to say to not miss is that this beautiful, talented designer is also trying to achieve that work-life balance that all of us are, are trying, you know, going after. She just recently, well, recently, about a year ago, she had a baby. So the baby's a year old. So we're all just trying to juggle it all and do the best that we can while applying the best talent that we can onto our work. And Diff is an amazing example of all of that. So again, full disclosure, we do not do work for her.
Mhm.
We would love to, but you know, would love to work with these patterns and colors and just be part of this amazing creative process, or even the engineering process at that. So no, we do not do that. We do not do this drape, but it's somebody that I would also admire from afar and have tremendous amount of respect for.
Nice. No, I like the band detail and not bringing it all the way down to the ground, which is something really unique and
Hmm.
really starting at a couple inches above the bottom. So that's something that you don't really always see.
She did a great job.
Yes. Okay, so next up is Swati Gora. She is also here in New Jersey, and this was another room that we did in the show house at Grace's house. We did the bar space for Swati and the kitchen. She really had a large task because she had the whole kitchen that she remodeled from start to finish, and then the bar room right off the kitchen. So I was obsessed with Swati Space when it was all said and done. And again, if I could have had like 10 photographs showing all the different angles of everything. So what I loved here is we just did a simple Roman valance. We brought it all the way up to the ceiling. She had the moldings painted the same color of the wall. And it's just a simple Roman shade, but even though it has a pattern, but there's wallpaper on the ceiling and wallpaper on the wall behind the bar. It's just showing you like a mix of how you can mix patterns and textures and colors and things of that nature. And yeah, it was a project that I loved working on. We did 2 similar Roman shades in the kitchen area. And if you are not familiar with this project that Swati did, she also had a banquette that we did not do the banquette part. Furniture, I think her upholsterer or furniture company did it, but it just had this crazy canopy and it was gorgeous and just oozed all the fabric details. So again, this was just something that I loved working with, and just showing you how a simple Roman in something like this can really just finish off a project like this.
Nicely done. Yes. And I like how the Roman shade doesn't compete with all the other elements in the room, because it really is. There's a lot going on here. It's a very busy wallpaper. There's a statement fixture happening. Very interesting for furniture and case goods. And the Roman shade just kind of like disappears and blends away, yet at the same time just provide that finishing touch that window treatments always do.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up, we have Michael Preston Interiors and moi. This was a picture that we took, I think it was last spring.
When you could hug people.
I know, right. That's right. Actually, this was, I think, like March, like February, March. It was a beautiful day outside. We're not wearing coats or hats or anything like that. It looks like it's like summer, but not quite. Anyway, yes, that was the time when we could hug people and not wear masks. So anyway, Michael Preston Interiors. His career actually is very interesting. He went to school in Parsons School of Design in New York City. And then after school, he went to work for a very prominent interior designer here in the Philadelphia area, who I actually personally know, and we do a little bit of work for her. And he really honed in his skill and taste and style and got a lot of experience from her. And they parted in very amicable ways. And she's the type of person who was happy to let her student fly and spread his wings and be on his own. So I believe it was in 2015 that he started his own business, Michael Preston Interiors. And we are privileged to do his window treatments for him. His style and aesthetic is gorgeous. Check this out. Boom. Boom.
Nice.
How cool is that? Do you see those like bold colors and combination of the 2 colors that I probably would never combine ever in my whole life? And the lines are very crisp and pristine. It's just everything about his designs is just cool. Like if I can just use one word, he's cool. His designs are cool. There's an aura of like youthfulness about both Michael and his designs. There's an aura of freshness about everything that he does. So, I mean, he is just a real star in my book, and we're really excited to do his work. Now, in this particular case, we didn't. This particular window treatment was done by somebody else, but it is one of his favorite ways of doing a tailored mock Roman valance. And so we have here in Vitalia Inc., we probably have about 4 or 5 different ways of doing a tailored mock Roman valance, and one of them we call the Michael Preston way, because he just likes it especially down on the bottom, especially down on the side. So this is kind of how we dubbed it, the Michael Preston way.
Oh yeah, we have a couple of those that we call like the Pavarini pleat, or yeah. So
yes, exactly.
yeah.
So you see that beautiful, bold, like cobalt blue walls all around, and gorgeous white valance with orange and blue taping. So everything coordinates back to what's happening in the room, and it's just so crisp and bold and fresh, and it's like a scroll stopper. You know, you scroll through either a magazine or your Instagram feed, and boom, it's like, you know, you can't help but stop. So I think Michael is just an amazing designer, and we're just really happy to be able to support him on his projects.
Nice. Okay. The next designer that we are highlighting, we do not do the work for Yelena, but she is a colleague and a friend of mine, and I just wanted to highlight her work because I think she is super talented. So it's Yelena Gertz of House of Style, and she is out of Central Jersey. She does a lot of, but she does projects all over. She just did a really great project in Asbury Park. So check that out. You're able to see on her Instagram the progression of like concept to construction to completion. Yelena comes from like a fashion background, but she also has experience in window treatments. And so it's like you could almost tell when a designer, and I guess maybe because I know her personally, like coming from a window treatment background, all the different elements and layers and things that they think of ahead of time. So this particular project, I just happened to love of hers. It was one that was featured last year that she did. Yeah, it was a year ago at the IWCE. It's hard to keep track of like dates and times now. We feel like something like that feels like it was so long ago, but it was only a year ago. So for this particular living room space here, she did floor to ceiling panels. We see these a lot, but it's just the way that she combined the type of fabric and everything else, bringing the height up. And just again, go to her Instagram page because you can see the before for this project and then the after. And I just love like all the little touches of like the magenta pinks. Like you have the chairs here that are, you know, in the foreground of the photo, but then in the background, you could also see like the little pops of pinks of the pillows on the chairs. So with Yelena, you're going to see a lot of like contemporary ripple fold drapes in a pocket, or just a lot of layering of different fabrics, stationary panels with operable shears behind them. She also has won many awards at the IWCE. 2017, she won, I think, Designer of the Year. So that's what you're seeing, and just seeing where she's grown, and from when I met her to where she is now, it's been such an amazing progression. So I'm super proud of Yelena. So,
nice. Good job, Yelena.
Yeah.
All right, and our last designer is Barbara Straub Interiors, and this is a designer who we do work for. I met her about a year ago at an event that Luann and I did together.
Ooh.
So Luann came down here to Pennsylvania to Design Trade Resources back in September of 2019. And Barbara Straub lives and works primarily about 2 hours away from here. So for the local folks watching, she's up in the Lehigh Valley, like way up there. So she made the trip. It's probably like a 2-hour trip for her. So she made the trip to that event. And after the event, she approached me and we started talking, and she was looking for a window treatment specialist. And even though it's pretty far for us, I was happy to talk to her and see if I can price up a couple of projects for her and see if we were a fit. Well, it turned out that we were a fit, and and this was one of our first projects that we did together. Now, full disclosure for Barbara, she did not take this picture. It's not like off of her website. It is one of our pictures. So you can see a lot of things are like still in progress for her. So this is not a final interior design look, okay? So I'm sure, I know she's adding a lot more elements and it's going to be a lot more beautiful than what you're seeing in the picture. But I just wanted to show you one of our first projects, and it's very near and dear to my heart because this is where she and I and Beata, my window treatment specialist, where we were trying to kind of feel each other out to see, well, how do you work and how do I work and how do we mesh together? So in the end, it turned out beautiful. This is a whole big living room of, you're seeing 4 drapes. There's actually another pair on the side. And there was a lot of talk about where to mount the right-hand side drapes. You see that they're over French doors, and the door is much lower than the window on the left. And anytime I think that you have a situation like that, it's really best to mount them on the same level versus having 2 different levels in the room. Plus, anything you can do to elevate the eye up and move the rod as high up as possible, that's usually what we try to do. So this was our first and a very successful project together. And then we did another room in the same client's home, and now we're doing another really great project down the shore for her. So it's been a wonderful relationship that is about over a year long, that started out with a small speaking engagement at a local showroom. So I'm forever grateful when we have those opportunities to speak to interior designers kind of face to face. When that used to happen, it will happen again. And just amazing things grow from those opportunities. So Barbara, we love working with you. You're absolutely delightful. Your aesthetic is beautiful. And it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I can't wait for more projects together and to support you in any way that we can.
All righty, everyone. Well, that is today's episode. But before we leave, we have some free goodies and a couple of announcements that we'd like to get through. So on our website, we have Architectural Digest isn't coming. 10 things you need to know about custom window treatments. If you are new to the window treatment game, head on over to our website, and we will be able, you can download this ebook. Luann wrote it a couple years ago, so you'll get all the information that you need on window treatments.
And Vitalia Inc. also has a free goodie for you guys. It is a free report that I wrote called 37.5 Window Treatment Ideas to use immediately to swipe and steal and make your own on your next project. So make sure to download your copy at vitaliainc.com.
And to keep up with all things Luann, because that lady has a lot going on right now. So, question, have we pre-ordered the next book, book 3? If you haven't, head on over to her website, luannigara.com, and make sure you pre-order that. And she has also announced Luann Live. So that event is happening. It's happening virtually this year, but she has a lot of great panelists and guests happening. So make sure you head on over to the website, onto her website, luannigara.com, to get all the details about the live event and the next book.
I got my ticket. I'm going.
You did?
Absolutely. Yep.
Good
I would not miss it for the world. Would not miss it for the world.
All right. And to keep up with us here at Window Works, if you have any questions on window treatments or awnings and you would need some help on your next project, please feel free to reach out to us. You can hit us up on Facebook at WindowWorks, on Instagram at WindowWorks as well. You could always give us a call or email us. We would be happy to help you and guide you through your next window treatment and awning project.
And the same thing for Vitalia Inc. If you are located in the Philadelphia area and you're an interior designer looking for support in your window treatment projects, this is what we do here at Vitalia Inc. 24/7. We're here at the disposal of our interior designers. We measure, fabricate, install, and project manage all of your window treatment projects. We take the stress of them off of your plate, put them onto ours. We stress over the little details. We worry about the deductions and the rings and the whatever, the million things that go into all of these projects. And we help you look like a hero in front of your customer. So if you need support, we're here for you. And until then.
Yes, until I stand corrected, Luann came out, and it's not the first Friday of January, it's the second. So I believe that is
the 8th. January 8th. Yep.
So we will be back January 8th, because she poked her head out before, was like, It's not the first Friday. That's the first. I was like, oh, okay. I'm already on vacation mode. Just kidding.
I hear
But
you.
yeah. But all right. So we will see you all on the 8th. We hope you all, everyone out there, has a wonderful holiday season, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, happy holidays. Thank you so much for sticking through the last 32 episodes with us, guys.
Thank
It's
you. We
been a
appreciate it.
pleasure. And Kim, it's been wonderful hosting these with you. You're my
Yes.
co-pilot, and mwah, 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 mwah.
I can't wait till I can give you a real hug again
Oh my
sometime
gosh,
soon.
I cannot wait. Exactly. That time cannot find coming up,
Uh,
cannot fast enough. And it's just even the ring of like 2021, just when I say it, I feel like I'm,
Woo!
like I get filled with happiness right there and then.
I don't think that's like, in the new year when you're always writing the wrong year, like when you're writing the
Yeah,
date.
nobody's gonna be
I don't
doing
think
that.
no one's making that mistake next year.
2021, baby. That's right.
All right, everyone. Have a good one. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you later. Bye bye. Thanks so much.
Bye.